All right, I'm going to call the City Commission meeting to order and ask Richard Acuna from Trinity Baptist Church to do the invocation and Commissioner May to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flags.
Let's pray. Father God, we just thank you and love you for this beautiful, beautiful time, Father, where we can come together and take care of city business, Father. Thank you for the men and women that just day in and day out just make sacrifices for the decisions that is made to make this community a better place, Father. Father God, I pray that you would be in the decisions of everything that needs to be made, Father, that you would be the hands and feet of the people of this great community. Father God, just guide us and protect us. We ask all this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank everybody for being here this morning. City Commission to discuss, consider, and act upon the minutes held on May the 8th.
Move they be approved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now we'll move to regular agenda item 5A, which is a presentation from Mr. Stuart Chapman regarding Texas Department of Transportation construction project along Interstate 20 Exodus Road between Business 70 East and Arizona Avenue. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you all so much for allowing me to come speak. My name is Stuart Chapman. I'm a resident of Sweetwater for 20 years. My office is in Snyder, Texas. Nolan County is not one of my counties, but I was fortunate enough to inherit this project. I'm looking forward to it. Just to let you know, the last time I think I worked in Sweetwater was on Broadway. So, but this is kind of an important project for all of us. There's some details up there on the screen. Again, as was mentioned, the limits of this project are from Lamar Street to East Arizona. It's the north side only, the north frontage road only. So it's just a little over a half a mile. The engineer's estimate was about $2.2 million. The contract was awarded to Nobles Road Construction for about $1.5 million. The estimated time frame that is showing, I believe, May to September, but they had a little bit of lead time, so actually the job kicked off yesterday. We're still in the process of getting our barricades set up, but the contractor schedule is showing them to complete the project roughly the first part of November. So we're shooting for 5 months. I will tell you the job, one of the things I do like about this project is there's been a lot of consideration on how to expedite it as quickly as possible. Some of those items are, we're going to use a hot mix instead of flex base, which means that we can excavate down and just immediately start putting our grade of hot mix, which I think is about 9 inches total. So that should help. We do have some new concrete that's going in, some new curb and gutter that'll be added. I think roughly probably McDonald's or Dent Road, I think, is where the curb and gutter existing now ends. We'll leave that in place, but we'll rehab the roadway and we'll add new curb and gutter all the way to East Arizona. Another feature that was considered was there's some pedestrian traffic along the north side, especially from some of the motels and stuff, some people that are actually walking on foot. So we thought it would be wise to add a 6-foot sidewalk. And so we'll have a 6-foot sidewalk on the north side only, immediately behind the curb. There's some places that it'll probably deviate a little bit and then come back in. But the reason for the 6-foot instead of 4-foot is just simply because it is behind the curb and gutter. So we want to give a little extra buffer because of vehicle traffic running just right alongside the curb and gutter. Other items I think, let's see, that I wanted to mention. I did mention the curb and gutter sidewalk. We are closing the exit ramp, 244 I believe is the exit ramp right there that comes in the middle of this project. The reason being is for safety to the contractor and to the traveling public. We just couldn't really phase this project by allowing that ramp to remain open. So we have message boards in place to direct traffic to take the ramp immediately before 244, which I guess a lot of y'all may be familiar with, but it's right there in front of the maintenance office. Has a long deceleration lane. So we just thought it'd be a lot safer to direct traffic to take that exit. So I'm working with the blue logo signs that you see out there that have the business, a lot of the restaurant businesses, gas station information. That's a private company. I'm working with them currently to get those signs moved back to direct traffic to the ramp that will be open. So that is something we're working on with them. They should be out in the field today or tomorrow to go out and relocate those signs. So those are some things we're trying to work with the business owners, and I've visited quite a few. There's been a lot of support for it. They know the roadway's in pretty rough condition, and they do look forward to the sidewalk addition and the curb and gutter. So with that being said, that's pretty much it. I would like to thank the city for passing the ordinance back in December for the no parking. I think that's helped us a lot to prepare for this job. I would reach out and ask that the city continue to support that, especially during construction, because we're going to have, I'm sure, quite a few truckers that still want to park. And we'll be knocking on windows every morning to get them out of the way. So I would ask that you could support us in that. We'd appreciate it. So, but that's pretty much all I have. Any questions?
I've got a question. I know they're gonna make the service road on that side one way going.
That is true, yes,
Okay,
sir.
are they going to make the other side one way, or is it gonna stay two-way?
It'll stay two-way.
It'll stay two-way.
Yes, sir. We'll have signs to deter traffic. I guess if you're coming from Lubbock or Midland, Odessa, they're in front of Bucks. There'll be signs directing traffic to go straight instead of turn left to make I guess it'll be a counterclockwise turn across the Arizona Bridge to come back. So yes, it will be one way. There'll always be a lane open, but we'll be switching traffic back and forth. So.
Now, Stuart, I know this isn't part of this project, but I sure wish the highway department would come up with a way to have controlled left turns at the intersection of I-20 and Highway 70. Sometimes you see that traffic back up for south or the northbound. Sometimes you see it backed up over a half a mile, and sometimes you see the traffic exiting east backed up still on the interstate, and it's just a dangerous situation.
It is.
That could be alleviated, I think, with some protected left turns.
I think Neil Welch is the area engineer in charge of Nolan County out of Big Spring, and I think he is currently working on some of those issues to alleviate that. And I was one of them that got caught in that here a few weeks ago with summertime traffic. But you're right, especially during Thanksgiving and the holidays, it really does back up. So I think they're looking at some improvements there too. So
Thank you, sir.
thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank y'all.
We'll now move to item 5B, which is a second and final reading to discuss, consider, and act upon fiscal year 2018 budget amendment. Motion for a public hearing?
So moved.
Move to enter public hearing.
Second. In a public hearing.
Okay. Is there anyone who wishes to speak?
Move to close public hearing.
Second, close
Okay. All those in favor of closing the public hearing?
Aye.
Okay. Does the commission have any questions for Patty Torres? Okay. Ask for a motion from the commission.
I move we approve the amendment of the budget.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I'll now read the ordinance into the record. An ordinance amending the amount of appropriations for the general fund budget in section 1 of the ordinance number 2017-11, approving and adopting a budget for the city of Sweetwater for the fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2017, and ending September 30th, 2018. We'll now move to item 5C, which is discuss, consider, and act upon authorizing city staff to publish notice for bidders for construction contractors for the awarded Texas Department of Agriculture's Community Development Block Grant Project for the 2017-2018 cycle. Does the commission have any questions of staff?
That page is gone.
Oh,
That'd be good.
Morning, Mr. Mayor, Commission.
Morning.
Just give you a quick update on this project. Like you said, this is a grant funded by TDA. It's a Community Development Block Grant. This is for water line replacement on 5th Street and 6th Street. And the way this is phased, the base bid will be 5th and 6th, and then we're going to have added alternates on Walnut. There's $254,000, $254,125 in grant money. And so we'll structure it with the base bid, and then however much Walnut we can get done, then we'll get done. The plans have been prepared, and what we're needing is authorization to go out to bid.
It shows that you're removing, I guess, a section of line.
It's in an alley. Yes, sir.
Okay, is that being replaced by other lines, or is
That
that a
section-
line that's not needed?
That line is in a very narrow alley. There's a lot of encroachments. It's maintenance issues. Crews have very difficult time getting in and out of there. And so we're replacing the lines on 5th and 6th and then making the connections to the new PVC lines. So that line will not be needed, no.
Okay.
Will be authorized staff to go out for bid? To advertise.
Second?
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we'll now move to item 5D, which is discuss, consider, and act upon bids for grade 4 crushed rock to be used for the 2018 street seal coating project. Mr. Jones.
Commissioners, we opened bids yesterday, one bid, that is, from Vulcan Materials for $32.57 a ton. And that was the only bid that we received.
That's probably the only bid you expected to receive, isn't it?
We got a call yesterday morning, mid-morning, from Zach Burkett, and talked to them. They had expressed some interest, but they just didn't have time to get their bid in, so it was a little bit too late at that point. But Vulcan was the only bid that we received.
Okay. Is that within the budgeted amount that you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Last time we seal coated 2016, their price was $38.54, and so 32 is a little bit cheaper than, and that's going to be what we anticipated as far as amendments.
Well, I'm glad to see that we're doing the seal coating. It really bothered me that we skipped it last year, or had to because of budget constraints, but I would hate to see the city of Sweetwater get in the position of Abilene and having a head tax, or whatever they call it, a user tax to fix the streets. I'm glad that we're doing this annually.
Yes, sir. We appreciate y'all's support on allowing us to put this seal coat project back in rotation this year.
Move we accept the bid. Second.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now move to item 5E, which is discuss, consider, and act upon approval of warranty deed for the National WASP World War II Museum to the city of Sweetwater.
Good morning.
If you'll look in your memo, agenda memo, you'll find a warranty deed, and there's a picture attached to that depicting what we're trying to do. This is in preparation of the game fence that's going to get installed out there, and there's a .804 acre tract on the west side of the WASP property that if a fence is installed on that property line, it's actually going to encroach into a clear zone area, and they've agreed to deed us back just that portion. We'll relocate that game fence farther to the east, and that's what this is about. Any questions?
So the game fence will be closer to the building than?
That is correct. You can actually see where it's showing that 60-foot rolling gates where that new fence is going to be, instead of the fence that's out to the farther to the west near the white line.
I move we accept the deed.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We'll now move to item 5F, which is discuss, consider, and act upon approval of ordinance increasing the number of positions for the Sweetwater Police Department. Chief.
Good morning.
Good morning.
What we're seeking is an expansion of the school resource officer program with the school district. The school district pays 80% of the tab, and the city picks up the remaining 20%. This will be above and beyond the one we currently are involved with. And so we're needing to expand the agreement by one position to create 2 SROs within the school district.
Chief, where will these officers be stationed during the day most of the time?
The 2 primary campuses they'll work off of are the high school and the middle school. We are receiving, I believe, a new campus in town, it's DEAP. And so the high school officer will be primarily working the high school and DEAP. The other officer will be primarily middle school, and then will also trickle down and be seen at the other campuses as well. So we're going to try and spread them try and focus on those campuses as hard as we can. Those tend to be the ones that we're most frequently involved at. However, we want to make an impression and be seen at these other campuses as well. Excuse me.
No, this is not directly related, but is there any consideration being given to the high school campus with regard to closing some of the entrances and locking that down?
We are currently, the school has formed a school safety committee, and they have been meeting regularly, and this is one of the many topics that they're discussing. I met with them last Monday evening, and on several topics, not only the use of vestibules, fencing, do we look at school marshal, do we not look at school marshal? I mean, a whole plethora of things that's from the security realm. And in fact, next Monday, Chief Standridge and retired FBI agent Dan Cotner will be over Monday evening, and we're going to meet with this committee yet again to talk about some other things, the lessons that they have learned, things that we're seeing across the state, and some of the points that are coming out from the governor's school safety release that came out recently.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Chief, are these school resource officers available after school hours to help patrol the city, or is this pretty much full time that they have to spend at school?
Yes and yes. We try to utilize them during the summer months a little bit, trying to allow for some vacation for the other officers. Also to kind of beef up during the summer months, because they do know all of the students really well, because they'll be interacting with them on a daily basis. The other side of that is the summer months is also when they have to go to school to pick up their certifications for through TASRO, which is the Texas Association of School Resource Officers. We are also sending these 2 officers to school in Amarillo in 2 weeks for what's called SBLE, School-Based Law Enforcement. They'll be trained the trainer classes where they can come back and also educate our other officers, so that if they have to go into a school setting, they know how to do so within the confines of the law. So we can use them at different times, but primarily they are pretty much dedicated to school year round.
Are there other officers that can come in and relieve the resource officers upon sickness or those type of things?
Well, that is our goal with the SBLE training. When we send those 2 up to Amarillo, they'll come back as trainers, and so they can train the other officers on how to fill those shortages if they're out sick or for some other family emergency or whatever like that. But we try to get those SROs to take their vacations and such through the summer months as well, so that they're not missing any of the school time. Yes, sir.
Any other questions? Do I have a motion?
I move we approve this new position for school resource officer. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks, sir. Now read the ordinance into the record. An ordinance establishing qualifications and number of positions for the Fire and Police Department pursuant to Chapter 143 of the Texas Local Government Code, increasing the number of police officer positions by one, providing a servability clause, finding and determining that the meeting at which the ordinance is passed was open to the public as required by law, and providing for an effective date. Okay, we'll now move to item 5G, which is discuss, consider, and act upon approval of an ordinance for request to close Lantham Street.
Once again, if you'll refer to your agenda memo, it refers to Lanham Street from the access road, interstate access road north to west Arizona, but it also includes West Mississippi, which is undeveloped, but platted from Lanham Street half a block to the east to a alley, undeveloped alley. You have numerous attachments in there that shows a plat of the request. It also shows street views and aerial views of the area, which includes known utilities and also of drainage. Any questions in reference to that? If not, I'll be glad to turn this over to the Cherries to give you a presentation.
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners,
Yes, sir.
David, Pete, we appreciate y'all putting us on the agenda today and allowing us to bring our proposition to you. The closing of the street is necessary for us to install or to put on a sales area, and I wished I had a pointer, on the northwest corner of the existing building. Does that work?
It won't pick up on the screen.
Okay.
It blends
The
in.
northwest corner of the building, which sits in the middle of Lanham Street. It'll be about 5,000 square feet with an additional square footage of maintenance building put on the east side of the existing building. All new construction with a facer, the facelift on all the existing building. We have worked closely with David and his management to make sure we've cleared or jumped over any hurdles or obstacles. We feel like it's beneficial to Nolan County and to the city for doing recreational vehicle business. Any questions?
Where are we gonna park?
If you can go back to that screen, from see the second set of telephone poles in the back? From there forward will be concreted in parking area. We will have egress and exit areas to the left and right for trailer entering and leaving. We will have a quick entry slot going on the right beside the existing building with quick opening doors, which will be air and cool. As you pull into that, our service riders will come out and take care of you. We will pull out from there and park in the back area. So there'll be more parking then than we have now, more controlled parking.
And Gil, we've got additional slides here that y'all sent us. I don't know if you want to go one by one or just kind of skip to that.
This is the sketch that we had done by a professional sketcher, and the building to the right is the existing building, which will have a facelift. The building on the left side of the screen is the new addition. Now, understand that's showing service bays behind it. That's not, we're going to put the bays on the other side of the building. We also, this front parking is wrong. It's, but he didn't have enough information to work with. We're looking at about 5,000 square feet of sales area plus the quick entrance parking. So we're talking probably around 7,000 square feet total. That's still tentative, but that's what we're looking at. The maintenance bar, the mechanic barn, I can't think of the right term for it, is we're looking at about 6 bays on it, and that'll That'll be on the right side or the west side, the east side of the building. That's a picture of it, a tentative picture. Questions?
It'll be a very nice looking facility.
We're
Congratulations.
yeah, we're tickled. We hope that we can make this come to pass. So
And the only traffic up and down that street now is traffic already related to your business.
yes, sir. We own the property on both sides all the way up, with the exception of the city drainage ditch.
I move we close the street.
I second that.
Amen.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Now read the ordinance into the record, determining the necessity of closing Blantham Street from the intersection of Northwest Georgia Avenue North to its intersection with West Arizona Avenue, including the abandonment of 2-inch water line contained therein, and Mississippi Avenue from its intersection with Lantham Street, east 140 feet to the intersection with perpendicular alley, all being located in the south side addition of the city of Sweetwater. Thank y'all.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Now move to the city manager's report.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Appreciate the opportunity. Really wanted to express thanks and gratitude to the men of the Sweetwater Fire and EMS department. Many of who are here today. I hope that there's not a fire out there. If there is, y'all need to pack it in and go take care of it, I guess. But really, what I wanted to focus on with this little item here is thanking everybody for their time and their efforts and blood, sweat, and tears in responding to the increase in accidents, particularly those east of town on I-20 to the Nolan County line. We ran some data and are continuing to look at additional numbers as far as what those increases look like, and the numbers that we have now are very sobering. In the time period from October 1st of 16 to the end of May of 17, we had about 12 accidents out there with no fatals. From the time period of October 1st, 17, it was when the construction started, to the end of May of this year, we had 50 accidents with at least 2 fatalities. And we're looking at additional data that tells us that those numbers are probably even low. So we're looking at a 4 or 5-fold increase during the same time period from one year to the next. The first set of numbers didn't have the construction going on, kind of sets our baseline. The second time period did have the construction, includes the construction on I-20. All that to say that when the calls come in, it's these gentlemen in this room that head east and respond to that, and the things that they see and have to deal with. I'm glad y'all have to do it and that we don't, because that's a tough thing, especially when the wrecks are of the magnitude that they have been, and which include fatalities, like I mentioned previously. So thanks to everybody here for what you do, not only here in town and keeping us safe, but responding to these accidents and other fires and brush fires and all that. Emergency issues in town and in the county. We do appreciate your efforts in that, and just wanted to take this time to say thank you. Thank you, and God bless you for everything you do.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Moving on to and there's just one of many pictures of what everybody's dealing with there. That was during the time period after October 1st due to the construction. I believe this ended up in a fatality, at least one, on this particular accident here. The next matter we wanted to talk about were the Nixle alerts. At this time last month, I believe I gave a manager's report on this Nixle alert emergency contact or communication system that's open to any member of the public. If you want to text our zip code 79556 to 888-777 as the phone number, if you will. You'll get on that list, and as soon as when dispatch rolls something out, that will pop up on your phone. Really kind of limited at this point to weather related information, but if there's any street closures or we're having a problem, we need to shut some valves in the water distribution system, and you're going to be without water for a while, we can use that system to alert folks here in town that have signed up. So it's an opt-in system. We started off this time last month or two with about 65 subscribers. We're up to the 250 plus range. So word is getting out, but there's so much more that can be done. It takes about 30 seconds to get it done, and then as those alerts come in, you'll be notified anytime, day or night, about emergency type situations here in Sweetwater. And then just one more item on the dog park that the commissioners allowed us to go forward with. We are making some movement on that. State Farm Neighborhood Assist Program is offering a $25,000 grant for 40 nonprofit organizations for a total of $1 million that they have in their fund to fund neighborhood projects involved in education, safety, and community development. They are accepting applications to up to 2,000 of them between June 6th and June 15th, which is later this week. Winners will be announced September 25th. We did right at 12:01 a.m. on June 6th put in our application, so we were one of the first ones to be involved in that and get our information into this grant program for $25,000. We're estimating the dog park to be about $51,000, so that would cover roughly half the cost of that dog park. We know we're good. We hope we get lucky on this thing. I'd love to see us be successful in that and have some money to go towards that effort. I'd like to thank Karen Hunt over at the Chamber and Mr. Richard Ferguson for bringing this to our attention. And Mr. Mayor, that is all I had.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Item 7, public input. Anyone wish to speak? I guess we'll move to the budget workshop then.
You want to take just a few minutes? Okay. We'll just move on.
Let's take 5 minutes and let him get set up for that.
Appreciate y'all.
You bet.
Appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
I worked on it all day yesterday.
Thank you, Gil.
Get started.
Well, we're gonna get started right now.
And then the rest of it's up to
Oh.
Okay.
Thank you, Grant.
All right, good luck.